Hello.
And welcome to the first video on this channel. If you've been spinning out like a washing machine on steroids since the last Le Mans Ultimate tire update, this video is for you. Trust me, I was right there with you, questioning my entire sim racing existence. What's up everyone? So let's be real for a second. When this tire update dropped, I went from feeling like I had decent pace to suddenly becoming best friends with every single barrier. And if you're watching this video, the chances are you've been there too. Now, here's the thing, and this is important. The game isn't broken, but I have been seeing other people who are avid sim racers and also have driven GT3 cars say that the tire model is feeling better, but there are some things that are lacking. Now, I think that's mainly due to the setups being jacked. So that's what we're gonna talk about today as well. My first reaction, probably the same as yours. What the heck did they do to the tire model? I was getting snap oversteer in corners I've taken 1,000 times before. My lap times went to absolute garbage because I was unable to complete a lap. I started to get very frustrated. But here's the thing though, is I learned a couple things from other people who were experimenting with some things. The tires do feel more realistic now. They're responding more to the inputs I feel like correctly and other people also feel like correctly. And also the tire temps have more to do with your grip levels now. So instead of just fighting it and trying to do the same thing over and over again, which was putting my car into the wall, I went back to the basics of sim racing and started applying them. I started looking at how I was driving, and then I started experimenting with the setup. And slowly but surely, I started putting down consistent laps again. I wasn't spinning out, I wasn't smashing into the barrier every single time. Now, I'm not gonna say that I am faster now than I was before the update, because I'm not. I'm still working to get there, guys. I'm not an alien, I'm not James Baldwin, I'm not Jardier. Again, apologize if I'm saying the name wrong, but I'm not an alien. I'm working my way up there, but I'm not an alien. So today I'm gonna share the tips that I took from other people and also some things that I've discovered on my own of how I could keep the car on the track and not spin out as much. All right, so we're gonna go to a race weekend. Just as a baseline, I'm gonna show you what driving on the setups now after the tire update, after the tire model update, what that essentially feels like in the car. And essentially you're gonna see me go into the wall. All right, so now we're gonna go to our car setup. So I have a setup that I modified before the update, and that setup has been tweaked so far to work with the new tire model. Initially, I was running 3 degrees of rear wing, and I just bumped it up 2 notches. But regardless, what we're gonna do is first, we're gonna go to the default setups. Right now, I'm running the Mustang GT3. We're gonna go to the default setups, bring our fuel down a little bit. I have 3 times usage right now, so that's probably why you see this halfway and it only says 3 laps. So 3 degrees, we're gonna go with the Coach Dave, as that's what I was using before and I was doing fine with, and let's give it a whirl. There's 2 main spots where you're gonna notice, or where we're gonna see that we're gonna have some issues. Mind you, I do have tire warmers on, and before I was able to do this flat out. And we're in the wall. So I used to be able to take that flat out. Now, we're gonna get past that and get to the other turn in question here that I am been constantly wrecking at. Again, we do have tire warmers enabled. I'm gonna take it easy here to make it past this point. That's a long, straight, hard braking zone. So, normally, before the tire model update, I was able to take that turn the exact same way I'm doing it now, but I can't anymore. You have to be extremely sensitive with your trail braking, extremely. in order for any of that to work. So as you saw right there, I spun out, we didn't make it past. So now let's go to the tweaks. So we're just gonna select the Coach Dave. I haven't really messed with the Lamar defaults, but I've been using the Coach Dave ones. So if you guys use the Lamar versus the Coach Dave, please let me know down in the comments below as to why you do, and I'll start giving that a shot. But here's the Coach Dave with the rear wing set to 3 degrees. Now we're gonna bump it up 2 ticks. Again, remove some fuel here. We're gonna go in the setup. And personally, oh, well, they already got the blanking out. Usually I run less blanking in the front, more in the rear. I get temp in the tires and brakes a lot easier. And we're running some new tires. That's the other thing is, if you haven't noticed, when you are going from practice to qualifying to race, you have to make sure you go in here. I don't know if they fixed this so far, but you have to go in here and actually select the new tires, because if not, you will use the previous tires that you were on, and that is not good. So the only things that we've changed so far are the front brake blanking and rear brake duct blanking, which is what I do all the time. The rear wing up 2 ticks. And I'm just gonna leave the tires as is. The brake bias is set to 50. I think I normally run 49 in the front. So we'll do that, and let's go back out. I do still believe, again, we're just freshly going out. Tire warmers, yes, but they're not to optimum temp yet, which they do show. I'll put that right here. They do show what the optimum temp they recommend on there. I'm not sure if that is actually legit, like if that's a working feature. Like, are we supposed to actually listen to that? I'm not sure yet. So 2 more ticks on the wing. We're gonna go up, see how little bit of lift. And we made it through there. Whereas before that was flat out, but just a little bit of a lift and you can make it through there now with just 2 ticks of wing adjustment. Now, hard brake. And we're through there, no problem. So, just to review again, we just made a 2-tick adjustment up on the rear wing. I did make some brake bias adjustments, but for the most part, really it was just the rear wing. Now, I will say with those 2 changes, there are some areas on this track that I have still not addressed yet. Where I used to have grip taking these long sweeping turns, and now it's more like I'm fighting the front end of the car to maintain grip, and I'm having to let off the throttle just to make sure that I don't spin out. But I will say, after making those changes, I'm actually able to put down laps now. Granted, they're not as fast as I used to be because my setup needs more tweaking, but that simple trick, just the rear wing adjustment up, has made it to where I can actually keep the car on the track now. At this point, I'm not sure if they have released the updated default setups for the cars yet. I think that's coming. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, that's out. On top of all that, the game does feel, the feeling of the tires and everything, at least from my perspective. No, I am not a GT3 driver. I haven't been to the track properly yet. I have been on track, but not properly. So I will say the feeling does feel a lot better. So what this does is kind of force you to get into the setups and start making tweaks, and also just checking yourself on your driving technique. So hopefully just those adjustments right there will help you maintain your car on track and learn to love the game again. Remember, if you're struggling right now, you're not alone. Every single one of us has had to figure this out. The difference between drivers who adapt and those who give up is simply persistence and the willingness to change. Drop a comment down below and let me know what's been your biggest challenge with the new tire update, and if these tips actually help you out. Actually, it's just 1 tip. 2 tips maybe. I'd love to hear about it. If this video helped you out, smash that like button, subscribe for more Le Mans Ultimate content, and I'll see you on track.